Hi, I'm Tanya, and today I'm going to be presenting to you my practicum for PFTR 2491. Since September 30th, I've been working at J.J. Parr Recreation Center in Coal Lake. It's a community center that includes all facilities and is open to military members, targets military members, and civilians. Military member, or the J.J. Parr also includes a fitness staff called PSP, which is Personal Support Programs. My supervisor for my practicum was Tova. Tova is a fitness coordinator at J.J. Parr. Worked there for many years. She has instructed several fitness classes. Her specific class is yoga. She really enjoys yoga. She does all the fitness warm-ups at like community events like the Terry Fox run, the base run, etc., the triathlons. And she is a great leader. I've learned so much from her. She was also my supervisor at my first practicum, and she shows great leadership skills that I was honored to learn from. And she was great help and answered all questions when I needed. She left 2 weeks before I was done to deploy for 6 months to help train military fitness classes for the military members that are also on deployment in Kuwait. During my practicum, I trained 4 clients. Throughout the presentation, their label is A, B, C, and D. They are all female and in their late 40s, early 50s. They are all new to exercise and all pretty much had the same goals. Here is my hours that I trained 4 clients for 15 hours each for a total of 45 hours. And then I did 10 hours of shadowing the PSP staff for 10 hours for a total of 70 hours. During my practicum, during my shadowing, I got to shadow a bunch of military fitness classes. I learned that there's over 20 of them, and they hit all body parts. They include everything such as running, biking, you name it, they do it. And to me, I just thought there was 5 that they would do, but they do over 20, and then they also do military fitness assessments once a month, I think, per unit on base, which are huge classes. So it's really interesting to watch the military fitness assessments and the exercises that they have to perform for that. Here are some pictures of the classes that I got to shadow. I shadowed 2 spin classes, a BOSU class that was total body high intensity, and a class just based on stretching. So a functional, they call it functional 4, but when I watched the instructor, she just made it a whole class dedicated to stretching. She showed them all usually in each fitness class, they kind of rush the stretching at the end. You get maybe 10 minutes of it. So this class was just dedicated all to stretching, which I thought really benefited the military. And she also showed them how to use foam rollers, and that was all new to a lot of them. So it was a really beneficial class, and I learned a lot from her as well. So like I said, the J.J. Parr's trainers are called PSP, so Personal Support Programs, and they train all military members. So all the fitness classes are free to military members, as well as the personal training. When I shadowed the PSP staff, they took me through the main assessment that they do with all military members before putting them starting their program. It's called FMS, so Functional Movement Systems. And this assessment includes So squatting, stepping, lunging, reaching, leg raising, and a push-up, and as well as rotary stability. And they're all graded by using a scoring method, which is 3-2-1. So 3 being that the client is able to perform the movement correctly with no pain. And then 2 would be when the client can perform the movement partially. They might need some kind of modification to help with the movement, but they can still perform it without any pain. And then 1 would be, and then they can move on. So 3 and 2, you can move on with your program, but if you score a 1, so you don't have any movement, the movement is not done right, and you are experiencing pain, then the PSP trainer will not move that client forward until they work on that movement and try to figure out where the pain's coming from and why are they moving certain ways. So before loading them with weight and then putting them through exercises that are going to make them worse, they're going to help them before it becomes too bad. So I found that really interesting, and the FMS assessment comes in one big box. It includes everything to do each exercise with, and it's very portable. I learned that it's something that I think I will even use in the future. I would like to get certified to do FMS so I can use it in my own training for assessments, because I think it's so beneficial. So this is just pictures of the PSP member or trainer just showing me how each exercise is done. It was really neat to actually try it myself and just to get a feel for it. For my own assessments for each client, I did the blood pressure, the resting heart rate, weight, height, waist circumference, body measurements. I also did a static and overhead squat assessment test with all of them, and I took a picture of their posterior, anterior, and lateral sides, and then that way I could compare before and after, as well as just to see their movement, how they moved, and what muscles I need to work on lengthening and work on strengthening. I also did aerobic assessments, so the Ebeling's the maximal test, the treadmill test, the MCAF, and the cycle. I chose these because they're all exercises that we need to know and are on my practicals, so I thought I wanted to become more comfortable and confident doing them, so those are the reasons why I chose those exercises. And then for strength, I put them through grip, push-ups, vertical jump, back extension, and then the one leg stance, eyes open and closed, just to assess their balance. And then for flexibility, I did the sit and reach. So here's a picture of my clients doing the assessments. I noticed that some of the clients had a harder time doing the push-ups on the knees, so throughout the program, that was something we worked on. After each assessment, I did their findings. So I did the calculations, and then I looked up their health benefit rating for each assessment, and then I also compared that with the last one. And then I took each picture, anterior, posterior, and lateral, and then I observed it by just putting lines through where shows on unbalance, where it's uneven, unbalanced, and then that showed me, okay, we need to work on this. She's tight in one area, has muscles that need to be stretched and lengthened in different areas. So for programming, I started each client off with a consultation that included an individual analyst, a task analyst, feedback, and an observation experience. The process was signing all the Part Q consent form and then into the information gathering. And then after they filled all that out, I made sure they were good to go, continue exercise, as well as got to know about them through asking them questions about what exercises they liked, disliked, what if they have any injuries, prior injuries. And then after we talked about this, and even just the talking really made me think of other questions to ask them, and really got to know my client that way. And then just, feedback, just asking them what they think, so on. And then I also learned a lot about my client through observation experience through the overhead squat assessment, but also through the first training session. With each client, I learned a lot about them just through that one session, just to see, even though I did my program based on what I got from the consultation, the first training session really made me realize how the client is with each exercise and how she deals with intensity, or what intensity is too much for her, or just how she feels about the exercise, if she even likes it or not. Or what maybe hurts her, so causes pain. So this was something that made me just kind of modify my program a little bit throughout, changing up exercises. And then for each client, so client A, her goal was to tone up, lose weight, and just feel stronger and feel good again. And I found that, so we just put her through, her program looked like 30 minutes of cardio at the start, and then we just did a circuit of total hitting each muscle group after, starting with alternating arms for each exercise. And then she's had pain in her knee during squats and lunges, so our goal was to decrease that pain and make sure that she can do those exercises without pain near the end. And we started off doing just step back lunges and squats using a BOSU ball, or a stability ball against the wall. And we just kept doing 12 reps, and we worked up to 15, and now she's working up to 20, and she can feel, and the pain has decreased a whole bunch, so she's very happy with that. That was really good to see. So she was really fun to work with, and seen a lot of improvements. We also did abs exercises and stretching for the end, at the end of her workout. Client B, she is my client that was very new to exercise. She hasn't exercised in 35 years. She didn't know what she liked, what she didn't like, and she's also diabetic. So I was a little bit scared at first. I was a little nervous training someone who is diabetic, but it was actually fine. I took her very easy. The intensity was easy as she was new to it, and she had a pump. She was type 1 diabetic, and she had a pump. So when we first started training together, her pump would beep every once in a while because her blood sugar was low. But throughout the program, her doctor was able to lower the insulin, and we only got one beep, maybe sometimes no beeps throughout the whole workout. So that was really good to see. She was very excited about that. And it was really neat to see how exercise does affect and benefit someone who is diabetic. It was really neat. And then just her being able to do exercises, you could really see at the start of the workouts that she was everything was very new to her, but as the weeks went on, she'd become more natural at it, which was really neat to see. Okay, and then my client C, her goal was to again lose weight, improve her cardiovascular system, and just tone up, lose some weight around her waist. She didn't know what she liked. She knew she didn't like running and cardio. So for her program, we just did, I thought, okay, we'll do circuit training. So strength exercises with high intensity exercises in between for 30 seconds to a minute. Because she said she liked to work hard, so we tried that out for a few weeks. She liked it for the first bit, but I could tell that she needed something different. But I wasn't sure about the running since she said she disliked it so much. So she was the one that actually suggested to me that she wanted to try running on the treadmill. So we did that for a week, and then she started to really love it, and then she was starting to feel good, noticing that she was losing around her waist. So she kept up with it, and near the end of by the time we ended working out together, she was saying that she was having so much fun running. So it was really neat to see a client start with like just learn that they like something that they thought they never like at all. But client D, she was open to anything. For her, I had her do, again, a basic, since all my clients were new to exercise, we all started with basic exercises. We started, so back, chest, shoulders, arms, hamstrings, and quadriceps. And then we just did alternating arms, and then we progressed to using both arms at the same time. The thing with her was that there was a challenge as her squats, I noticed. Her knees were going out. So what I did was I modified the squat by elevating her heels, and her knees became in line, and her squat was way better. So that's what we did with her throughout this program. We stuck with those exercises, and by the end we've seen huge improvement. She also had a lack of range of motion in her as she elevated her arm. So that was something to just be careful of too, was just picking shoulder exercises that didn't cause any pain. So here's a sample routine that I put everyone through. So we did push-ups because everyone needed to work on those. Row, shoulder press, bicep curls, lateral rise, tricep extension or tricep dips, squats with a Bosu ball, reverse lunge, alternating legs. With other clients too, I did the bridge and deadlifts. So they would repeat that circuit 2 times, and then we did some abs, just very simple, like a modified bicycle crunch, reverse crunch, side planks, back extensions, and then the bird dog, and then stretching. So we just focused on, like, I just wanted to do the child's pose, pigeon, seated hamstring stretch, some foam rolling of the quadriceps and calves, and then our upper body walls and triceps. So some people, we did a circuit with these strength exercises with the cardio in between, high intensity cardio, and some clients we started 30 minutes with cardio, and then we finished off our program with a circuit of 1 or 2 sets of the strength exercises. This here is just an example of an individual assessment that I would do. So I did their before and after pictures, and then I just had all their results from the first assessment, and then our last assessment at the end of our time together, and then my findings. Did they improve? Did they decrease? Did it stay the same? So I noticed that all my clients, there wasn't much improvement in not a lot of loss in weight or inches, but they did improve a lot in their strength and mostly strength. Flexibility, everyone had a hard time with that too, but they all felt great. They said they're just happy to have started an exercise routine, and now they know what to do, and now they can move forward, and everything will just build up from there. So everyone's very happy with everything, and they're very excited about the small improvements that they had made, even though in just the month, in 4 weeks. So modifications. So with programming, I noticed I needed to regress some exercises, progress throughout the 4 weeks, chose different exercises according to what they could or could not do, and then adjusted their sets and reps and then intensity throughout the program as they went on. And so here are the two clients that I had to make major modifications with. Was my client D with the squat and client A with the lunge. Challenges. The challenges in this course, in this practicum, I noticed, was setting up the equipment. At first it was, because all my clients are back to back, I had them all 4 from 9 to 1, And so setting up equipment was a little difficult, but I found throughout, like, it worked out good. I would set it up at the beginning, and then it was good to go for each client. We just worked out in the same room, where at the beginning I was kind of all over the place. So I just had to get a routine going, and then by the second week, everything was really good. Cancellations. I only had a few cancellations. It could have been worse. One girl couldn't start for the first 2 weeks, so that was a little, had me worried, but everything worked out in the end. Even though it just taught me, like, in the real world, what it would be like when there are cancellations. Developing programs, just finding the time to develop the program, because being a staying at home mom, it's hard to. I found that looking after a little kid, trying to get time to make the program was difficult. Also being a military wife, my husband was gone on deployment, so it was just me, and then it was really hard to find just the time to focus on each program and making sure that it was good quality. So just finding time. And in childcare, at first I thought it was going to be difficult, but it ended up working out good. My parents were able to help me out a lot there. Patience, I learned that because I noticed that each client were brand new, and so I needed a lot of patience to help them through each exercise, and have to really explain, and just it took them a longer time to progress. So just for me, it was challenging to just. I never experienced someone that took, like, you really had to give them time to progress and practice each exercise. And then just trying to get my own training and workout in. I'm a runner, so just trying to find time to get my runs in while juggling everything else. I found that was challenging. Scheduling, not too bad. At first it was, but after the first 2 weeks, everything worked itself out. And then motivating, well, with my clients, it was easy to motivate, but just shadowing and learning, talking to the other PSP staff, they found that it's hard to motivate military members, as they are forced to be there and they're not paying to be there, so it's tricky. So the rapport I developed with everyone, I found that I connected, listened, identified, I respect, related to everyone really well. I found that even my supervisor, when she watched me, she said it seemed like I knew these people forever. That's one thing I felt really good about, is I think I developed a good rapport with each client. And as I still talk to them now through text, I just make sure I just talk to them and ask how they're doing, and making sure that they're keeping up with everything. And the measures of success. So client satisfaction, attitude change, self-confidence, measurable results, goals achieved, lifestyle change, consistency. I think these are all measures of success, and I really think I've really noticed my clients succeed through their attitude change from the beginning to after. They all said I can't at the start, and at the end they're like, oh, I can do this. They were just kept saying how good they felt. Their self-confidence was way better, I thought, when they noticed that they could run longer than they could, or do a certain exercise, perform more reps than at the start. And lifestyle change, they're all eating healthier, and consistency, they realized how important it is to be consistent with an exercise and eating program. Client satisfaction, I just have some text messages that my clients had sent me, just showing their satisfaction with my training. So it was really nice to hear that. That's also motivating for me. And then rating my own professional performance rating, I'm rating it out of 5 stars. So for communication, I gave myself 5 because I believe that is something I am good at, I believe. That is just a quality that I do have. I'm very good at communication and keeping in touch with everyone. So always, to this day, asking, like, having communication with them, staying in touch, see how they're doing. And also throughout the program, just talking to them all the time, just see how they're feeling, getting to know them a bit, and really developing good relationships with each client. Information gathering, I gave myself 3 out of 5 stars. This is something I think I did pretty good on, but I know there's always room for improvement. Exercise demonstration, I rated myself 4.5 out of 5. I think I did all right. There's probably a few exercises that I could have practiced my explaining technique better, but overall I think I did not too bad. My punctuality and availability, I gave myself 5 out of 5 as I was there early before each client and I was never late and I was able to make every class. I didn't have to cancel anything. I was always available for them if they wanted to do, they couldn't make a time, then we can make up later on in the week. And knowledge, I give myself 3.5 out of 5. I think this is something I can always improve on. This industry is, you're always learning and you're continuing learning all the time. There's always something new to learn. So I gave myself 3.5 out of 5 just because there's always room for improvement there. And overall, this course really, what I took, the takeaway from this practicum was the leadership skills I developed. Communication, like I've just been more comfortable, more open with clients from the start of it. Motivation, like being able to motivate people even when it's really hard sometimes. I was able to find ways to motivate them, or even if I was even really motivated, I found anyways, depending on my day, like I just found it in me to motivate that client when they needed it. And then planning that's something I've always struggled with, and I found throughout this course I got way better at it, and finding time for programs and just the whole process of it. And it was challenging at first, but I think that is something to take away, is that I really improved on that area. And just overall leadership skills, so just leading, learning how to lead classes, looking forward, just being honest with my clients, empowering people, inspiring people. I found that I really enjoyed doing that. It's just something that's natural to me, and this practicum really helped me realize the qualities I do have as a trainer and which I need to work on. So thank you.